Microsoft isn't exactly the most eye-catching brand in the world of technology. Most people think of companies like Google parent Alphabet, iPhone manufacturer Apple, and e-commerce giant Amazon when they think of technology. And well, the company is still gaining ground in the cloud computing industry and its Azure Web Services, earning more profits every year. With its Windows operating system, Office Productivity Suite, and Xbox gaming system line, it's one of the big tech companies in the world. However, Microsoft has seen several failures since it started in 1975. Innovation involves making mistakes and learning from them, and the king of PCs has made more than its fair share of them. Some of their failures were insignificant, even humorous. So, which failures are these? How severe were they to Microsoft? Microsoft Zune. First up on our list is the Microsoft Zune. In 2006, Microsoft released Zune, a portable media player and music service that competed with Apple's iPod and iTunes. Even though the Zune was advertised as a sleek and innovative device, it ran into several problems that caused it to fail and be discontinued by Microsoft in 2011. One of the main problems with the Zune was that it needed to work better with Windows computers. This was a big problem compared to the iPod, which worked well with Apple's Mac and Windows operating systems. Also, Zune's online music store only had a small number of songs. There was also less marketing and promotion for the Zune. Microsoft needed to put more money into promoting the Zune, so it never became as popular as the iPod. Other media players and music services, like Amazon's MP3 store and Spotify, were also strong competitors to the Zune because they were more powerful and easy to use. The Zune also got bad reviews and criticism from customers and industry experts, who said it was slow, hard to use, and needed more features. This made it even harder for the Zune to get a big market share and prove itself as an excellent alternative to the iPod. Even though Microsoft tried to make the Zune better and more appealing, it only became somewhat popular and was eventually taken off the market. Today, the Zune is seen as one of Microsoft's biggest failures, and it serves as a reminder of how hard it is for new companies to compete with big names in the technology industry. Microsoft Bob. Microsoft Bob was a piece of software that Microsoft made available in 1995. It was meant to give people who are new to computers an easy-to-use interface. Instead of the usual desktop interface, Bob offered a cartoon-like environment with different rooms and characters representing different applications and functions. But Bob was criticized for having a confusing and cluttered interface and needing help to do much. Users thought that the cartoon character and rooms were pointless and distracting, and many needed help getting around in the environment. People also made fun of the software a lot because it looked and sounded like a child and was seen as condescending and out of touch. Many things went wrong with Bob. First, it was made for a small group of first-time computer users, but that group didn't like it. Second, the interface could have been more transparent and easier to understand, making it hard for people to find the needed features. Lastly, the software could only do a few things, which was another reason why it could have been more popular. In the end, Microsoft Bob was a well-intentioned but ultimately useless attempt to make computers easier for people new to them. The software's lousy design, limited features, and condescending tone all contributed to its quick decline, and is now widely seen as one of the company's biggest failures. Even though Microsoft Bob has a bad name, it is a good example of how crucial good user interface design is and how important it is to know your audience. MSN. Then we have the Microsoft Network, or MSN. It was an online service that the company introduced in 1995. Microsoft's first foray into the internet services sector was MSN, which aimed to provide customers with an integrated experience that connected them to information, entertainment, and one another. MSN was eventually ended in 2013 despite having a large user base and substantial investment, since it failed to meet Microsoft's expectations for success. One of the leading causes of its demise was MSN's inability to compete with other established competitors in the industry, like AOL, Yahoo, and Google. MSN struggled to establish itself as a go-to location for users looking for online services, since it was perceived as a second-tier offering compared to these businesses. The technological challenges that MSN was experiencing, such as poor load times and dependability issues, further reduced its user base. Lack of distinction from its rivals was another reason that led to MSN's downfall. MSN provided services like email, instant messaging, and news that were comparable to those of other online service providers. Still, it could not stand out from the crowd with anything truly creative or distinctive. Moreover, MSN quickly became old and less useful to users due to Microsoft's inability to keep up with the market's rapid changes for online services. Despite these challenges, Microsoft kept funding MSN to save the service. The corporation tried several different things to reposition MSN, such as redesigning its user interface, introducing fresh features, and forming alliances with other businesses. The features and services of MSN were later merged into other Microsoft offerings. But ultimately, these efforts proved to be too little, too late, and MSN was officially discontinued in 2013. Band. Next is a smart wearable gadget called the Microsoft Band. Microsoft introduced it in 2014 with the intention of competing with existing wearables like the Apple Watch and Fitbit. The Microsoft Band, despite its amazing capabilities, such as its capacity to monitor email and text messages, measure exercise and health statistics, and run apps, was received with mixed reviews and eventually failed to catch on with consumers. One of the main causes of its downfall was its design, which was criticized for being bulky, unpleasant, and subparly built. This made it challenging for Microsoft to draw users due to the device's expensive pricing. The Microsoft Band's attractiveness was further constrained by its limited interoperability with non-Microsoft devices and lack of support for third-party apps. The lack of Microsoft's marketing and advertising activities was another factor in the Microsoft Band's failure. The manufacturer did not adequately market the device, so it did not achieve the same level of popularity as its rivals. The Microsoft Band also struggled to separate out from the many other accessible similar gadgets because it was introduced at a time when the wearable market was already becoming congested. Despite Microsoft's efforts to enhance the gadget with software upgrades and new functions, the Microsoft Band was eventually rolled out in 2016, barely 2 years after its initial release. This represented one of Microsoft's worst failures and illustrated the difficulties in breaking into the fiercely competitive wearable sector. Microsoft Portrait. Microsoft Portrait was a video conferencing program that Microsoft Corporation made and sold. It was created so that small and medium-sized businesses could talk and see each other in high-quality video and audio. The Portrait came out in 2006, and it was meant to compete with products like those from Cisco and Polycom. But even though some tech fans liked Microsoft Portrait, it didn't really catch on with the people it was meant for. The high cost of the hardware needed to run the software was a big reason why it didn't work. This made it hard for small businesses to buy. The Portrait also had problems with reliability and performance. Who would want that? Many users said it crashed often and had terrible video and audio quality. Another issue was marketing. Even though Microsoft is known for its software, it needed more experience in the video conferencing market to compete with companies like Cisco and Polycom. This, and the fact that the product wasn't widely known, made it hard for Microsoft to make a lot of money from it. The arrival of new technologies, such as cloud-based video conferencing solutions, also hurt the market for Portrait. These new solutions had similar features, but were much cheaper, making it hard for Microsoft to compete. In the end, Microsoft Portrait was taking off the market in 2010, having failed to become a major player in the market for video conferencing. Even though Portrait didn't work out, it taught Microsoft a lot about what its consumers want and how hard it is to be in the video conferencing market. Since then, the company has made and sold successful products in areas like cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Well, that's it for today. Which other technology that Microsoft released do you think should be on our list? And well, which among the ones we listed do you think could have become a global hit? Comment below. Let's engage. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.